More than a year ago, a train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, releasing toxic materials into the air and forcing more than 2,000 people to evacuate. The accident has left many wondering just what trains carry on a local level and when hazardous materials may be transported through town. Isabella Vesperini has this report.
Freight trains carry anything from chemicals and crude oil to food products and coal. Usually, the Federal Department of Transportation and the Federal Railroad Administration regulate specifically what trains carry. But Bridget Hale, State Rail Programs Director for the Indiana Department of Transportation, says neither the state nor local public agencies monitor exactly what trains transport locally. The Indiana Department of Emergency Management doesn't regulate this either. The Rails Programs Office has access only to railroad companies' top commodity, which they use for internal purposes only. Since these companies are privately owned, they are not required to disclose what they carry. But after communities suffered the consequences from the East Palestine accident, this lack of transparency is concerning for officials in the rail industry.
They cut corners on safety, and they cut corners on staffing, and they cut corners on inspecting their equipment before it goes from point A to point B.
The length of the trains is also a cause for concern for Edwards. Some trains that pass through Bloomington come from Marathon Refinery in Illinois and carry hazardous materials, such as benzene and LP gas. Each train cart carries 30,000 gallons of gas, and many trains can stretch over 10,000 feet.
The longer the train, the more unsafe it'll be because you have more moving parts and you have more forces. It's like a train is like a slinky.
Switching systems and bridges are weak spots in rail infrastructure.
The train derailment itself is good evidence for the fact that our transportation system isn't perfect. Sometimes it seems like the cargo, like trains that carry products, are maybe less well protected.
Trains carry a high concentration of ammonia and phosphate regularly through town. Ammonia gas is toxic and can kill someone immediately. Phosphate in acidic form can cause a high concentration of algae to grow in the waterways and worsen water quality.
Anytime, you're moving a chemical around that has potential toxic impacts, there are going to be accidents now and then, and so that's, that will always remain a concern. But of course, we rely on these chemicals, so it kind of has to be a concern that a risk that that the benefits of which outweigh the hazards.
A representative from the Columbiana County Emergency Management Agency in Ohio said following the train derailment in East Palestine, Norfolk Southern has added additional hotbox detection crossings and camera inspection points. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Isabella Vesperini.
Politicians have been pushing for the adoption of the Railway Safety Act, which, if passed, would require the Department of Transportation to issue more stringent safety regulations for trains which carry hazardous materials.